What's up, guys? It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC, and today we are going to do a video about how geometry cuts. But first, let's see what we're sipping on today. Spyglass Quadratics is big, double IPA. This one is a hoppy hopper. Whew. 8.5%. Yeah, that's a big one. That's what we're sipping. We're not flipping anything because we have no knives that flip. They're either fixed blades or traditionals. Also, numerous people have mentioned my cuckoo hair. Let me just put something out there. My dad has very straight hair. My mom has very curly hair. And what did I get? I'm not kidding. Straight hair on the sides and the back, and the front curls. And this isn't hat hair, like this is just how my hair is. It's just like straight, and then the front flips and curls. So it's just how it is. Sorry if that bothers you. And by sorry, I mean F you. It's just curly and cuckoo. Okay, let's talk about geometry. So, geometry cuts. That's a term that we hear a lot in the community. And I never really got it until I actually experienced the process of geometry cuts. So I want to show you guys something. Right here we have the Jacob Creates Chickadee in CTS XHP steel. I've been using it for a few days now, using it constantly, processing chicken, processing fruits and vegetables at work, cutting boxes, all that good stuff, okay? So this thing is dull now. It has been used, it is dull. So I can press my fingers on there and run my fingers on the blade. It's like a butter knife, right? So like with a sharp knife, this would be literally filleting my hand. I mean, it is, look, pressure, it is dull, right? Now watch this. This is intriguing. Take a piece of paper. That is really cool, right? So if I, weren't to show you the first part of me putting my fingers on this and all I did was kind of show you this, you'd say like, oh, that has a decent working edge, right? So that's what's kind of cool about learning angles, learning grinds, learning sharpening, is that looks can be deceiving, That knife on paper looks pretty sharp, but I'm telling you right now, this thing is dull. It is dull. It is a butter knife. But because it is ground so thin behind the edge, it's kind of like a tiny paring knife or maybe a little bird and trout knife. Geometry-wise, it is so thin that it is actually able to slice paper like that, and it looks sharp on paper. So I just wanted to show you guys that because a lot of people are starting to join the movement of use your shit and also using your knives and learning how to take care of them after. Sharpening, stropping, learning how to actually take care of your tools so that you're confident in using them. And one of the things to take into your mind here is that, geometry really does cut. This knife is very thin. It is very well made. It's perfectly ground. This is just a tiny little ripper of a knife. And it is dull as shit, and it'll also clean slice paper, which is wild. And the only reason it can do that is because it is ground so thin behind the edge. So I just thought that would be really cool to show you guys because sometimes I see beautiful mirror polished edges, and paper cut tests and all this stuff, and it's just interesting how it can look so good sometimes, and it may not actually perform right. It's pretty wild that I can put pressure on my fingers and drag them along this knife, and nothing happens, not a single nothing. So just something cool to show you guys. Also, while we're here, let's talk about the Lannies Clip for a few seconds, even though I've been talking about it a lot, but we'll just go over a couple things. This thing is still going strong. So I have not sharpened this once since using it, and I am just beating the pulp out of this thing. And I just can't get over how well the heat treat was done on this. This has a sharper edge than the Chickadee, and I've only used the Chickadee for I think like 3 days maybe. You know, hard using it a lot, so the dullness makes sense. But I've been using this 154 cm frickin' case knife for even longer, not a single sharpening since using it, and I can run my fingers on it like it needs to be sharpened. It needs to be sharpened tonight. I'm going to do that. But if I were to press like with the Chickadee, bad news. You know, that would not end well. So this heat treat on here is blowing my mind. I cannot believe how well they treated this 154 cm. Really interesting. Actually, you know what? Now I'm curious. I haven't done a paper cut test with this yet. I wonder what'll happen. I've been really beating it. Okay, interesting. So a couple of hang-ups. Still slicing paper. Now see this would have a harder time cutting paper dull because it's so thick. Do you guys see that? This is a pretty thick ground knife, even to the tip. And I'll be honest, it doesn't thin out very much. You have a very thin blade in this portion, so it doesn't have time to thin out. So this is pretty thick. So you know, this cutting paper, geometry speaking, this is cutting because it still has a decent edge. It's a little rough, obviously, but for what I've been doing with it, that's really impressive. So I'm going to put a nice fresh edge on this tonight. Not sure what type of edge I want to do yet. We'll see when the time comes. But yeah, I've been running these two together. These have been like my power team the past couple days. Little nugget. Look how cute this thing is. Yeah, this has been my powerhouse. I'm going to sharpen this up tonight and switch it out for another fixed blade because I've got so many to run through their paces. Obviously, this one's staying in pocket for the rest of the month. But that's it, guys. Just a quick little lesson on geometry. I will see you guys on the next video. If you could do me a huge favor and please go follow a couple of channels that I am just so invested in. I'm so wanting to see them grow because they deserve it. So if you could, you know, go give Indie Hammer a follow and a subscription on YouTube, and Kayak Fisher Northwest on YouTube, and Bumblebee EDC on YouTube. They all have Instagrams too, but we're trying to get those YouTubes growing, guys. I don't care about my own channel. I don't care about my subscriber count. Like, literally could care less, but boy, do I want to see these other dudes grow. They are some of my best pals, and I just want to see their channels get the recognition that they deserve. So if you guys don't mind, go subscribing to them, watching some of their content. They have fantastic stuff that they're putting out. And they all use their knives too. All really good dudes. So go check them out. Go use yo shit. Let me say that again in case you didn't hear me. Go use your motherfucking shit. And I will see you on the next video. Peace. And I love you guys.